Trăng này bin inet chia mình tia cái life thấy đâu ba trăng này lâu trăng kan tim ti version sim lệ zux khang ai mà rồi lâu thế anh lâu thiếu ti mà mấy mày cái khel đó em lâu bốc ta này chứ ina mà pi
Watch out!
In tung chào nhau, tất cả lòng na, bố chuang xì lâu, mà sẽ đủ ai xa, mà ngày riu về đi, những lan phi ya, cây rồng, cà ring. Tìm đua nghe đi nhưng chưa gió mây lòng đi yang rema don lung ruko ngam lo ba đi nei reng zong
Watch out! The blue team is in the lead. Cover me!
guitar mo lo da phei man ke ni lo mai ti lo lam lo ro chân zanin kha 11 tun ka chu yu ngai ngai pe lo che mai ti nei thalai eso chu ping ka chok to na kalakal ma karon ti suai mai mai ni atile ya grip man
Killing spree for the blue team.
ati net chatin nan
Half of the match is over. And the blue team is in the lead.
na ngai na oi fa hio thak te l ne na
Great! You're about to win!
The red team doesn't have a lot of time left. The blue team is unstoppable.
khai zong à các đồng pe đây tổ thế bây giờ nè pe ini to zakar lupu trên sa khamo hello Paytm to thế mà sẽ stop mua khang cái đồng pe nhưng mà lâu rồi cái này ha nó mà phan bắt chỉ ní ngày sạc lâu này xem
Blue team victory!
xong tal ka tusin
Cover me.
ai angai na net thia pot chen he lut tuk ringot kha kha ni mi mi sal ti po cho kai po ka paisa ba ti lo ti le ringot ai kan tes sa po chin lại rồi không vel mấy mình thar te hian min pu ka ba enjoy ti chu kan ne ta khap mai ma en lo thumbnail thì nghe kha profile la nunga background nga kan da kha alang te mole he clip he mo he tu inal ka ti sin kapute phuani mo kanu te una upaper phuani feli room kong kharo in kha le chin lo anang chu turnip chu ka boy la man kharo BMPSC in ila ngai PMGC nen do lo soi tu Dial tí chút tuy về lòng Michel Timo.
On this hillside, though, similarly impressive on that performance with only 2 players.
Yeah, I mean, we're already farming clips. Let's put it that way. We are really farming clips at this point in time. Alpha 7 just about make their move upwards over towards 628. Could potentially be starting to take their engagement between them. There is 4 players versus the 3. We just saw Brazil absolutely trounce when they were down on players. So potentially it can be done again. But 628, one of the more aggressive Chinese teams, has some strong firepower on this squad as well. Mafioso, though, has the nade in hand. It's a good arc on it.
Ooh, looks pretty sweet, but it's going up to the top of that cliff, unfortunately. Sunan avoids that damage. Stalwart have spotted loops, so they're going to be a little bit too much to ask there. I think Cardozen, most likely left as a solo, gets into a shack. He's kind of in the middle. And Stalwart's probably the only team that's going to be looking to push there, but the question is, when do they want to take this spot?
Yeah, second time in a row right now for Cardozen getting into a shack nice and early in the game to try and get a stronger position in terms of placements. I mean, he made it very, very far into that last match. Potentially another top 5 available for him, which would be great on top of the eliminations they already found, but seems like he has been spotted here by top. Likely going to be a lot of smokes dropping through, a lot of Molotovs coming through also.
You ain't going anywhere, Cardozen. You're staying right where we put you. And go into our points total if we can help it. There it goes. The burn is on, and Action picks up the point. Stalwart able to take control of the shack, and now Action can move up to it. That's what Stalwart wanted to do, take position, and that is exactly what's going to pay off with this circle shift.
This has overall been quite a strong game for Stalwart in terms of taking a lot of space away from other squads. Been very confident to dominate this northeastern side. It's come back in a very good way for them now. They hold both the south and the northern edge of it, so they could just clean through, hold these teams into a bit of a chokehold between one another over with 628, Alpha 7 and U2 Alliance. There's a big chance here for Stalwart to take this game away, but there are still some big players in this match. 628, U2 Alliance. Alpha 7, though, I'd say they're kind of in their dying throes at the moment.
A little bit. It would seem that way. Senab, the last player to stand for them, and I think they know he's down the hill. They've really struggled to move in on this south side. They tried to push up, but 628 were ready for them. They were playing as 3 from this position as well, which makes it even harder. 33 said, oh, he knows. The nade is in hand. It's underarm. Drops it down. Is that going to be the final nail in the Alpha 7 coffin? No. Senab sidesteps. Still got some moves left in the back pocket. He's still bringing them out.
Xing taking damage, though. This is U2 Alliance. With Cluck actually taking some shots from afar there. Iftar joining in, but that's given a lot of knowledge over towards Stalwart. They just needed a couple of shots, identify the location. They send 3 players over towards that north side. Nurzed claims and hangs on to the compound over towards the eastern side. Just in case another hard shift comes through, you want to secure all the chances you can get. Iftar goes down. There might have been some shots coming through from 628 there.
Alpha 7 finally fall to the top spot. Eliminated from this one. Stalwart trying to sweep around, but U2 Alliance giving a good fight here. On the western edge, Sunan moves on up for 628. Goes for the flush, can't quite get it. He's backed off the angle. Has to fold back in with the rest of his team a little bit further down the hill into the buildings that they've occupied for a while now. They want to stay as 4, and I think rightly so, with only 4 teams alive. That's exactly what you want to see. Besiege Evo survived with Luxy over on the southeast side, but very minimal utility there. You can see that count at the top of your screens. Really not too much more to do, just try and survive as long as possible. Stalwart, on the other hand, 18 smokes. They are going to be able to get wherever they want to go.
This is a nice position. Currently, Nurzed's holding over towards the eastern edge right. Has the high ground. There's going to be a lot of open terrain in front of him. Having that little angle there is going to be so important, just for gathering intel more than anything. A couple of pot shots could be lovely. See what happens about it. A U2 Alliance now off in the distance. With them, this is a big game. It's an important game for them as well. They need to prove to these squads they're not just a second place team within this lobby. They need to take a little bit more action, be a bit more proactive. 33Z takes down one of them already. Will back it off down the hill in the blue. Not likely to survive from this one, but open things up.
Cluck gets the pick now over to Xing to take up the mantle of this angle. I don't think Olio's getting back on his feet here. Judo Alliance not able to push down that ridge line, does get flushed out here eventually, but in the meantime, Stalwart just march forwards. They're keeping that pressure up from the northeast side.
It's a difficult push now for Judo Alliance. However, they get given a bit of the zone. Stalwart, Top, Action, Icy, all are able to move over towards this northern side. This hilltop that they've been controlling for so long is going to give them that eagle eye. Nerzed likely can follow suit, move over towards them. Xing, though, dirty shots coming through. Flax feels the brunt of them as well. Bandage is back up again, but I think for 628, they have really been scrapping. The underdog fighters here in this match.
Oh, they love to get in and amongst it. 33 said on the back of the buggy with Sunan in tow as well. It is going to be top, though, to find the angle and actually take down Flax. Stalwart want a piece of the pie. 3 teams remain as Luxy survives on the southeast, but it's 6-2-8 versus Stalwart into the scrap for the final circles.
Information provided now, given across. You got 628 underneath. Looking to push upwards over towards Stalwart's side of things. Luxy from Persija Evos. This is great news for Persija Evos either way for the Indonesian team. Just getting in towards these top spots, just getting in towards even a top 5 at the end of PMGC would be an achievement and a half. And almost a return to form and glory for Luxy and Zuxi, but not only them. You've also got Redface and Misery who've really made a big step onto the scene here.
Makes it to the crate, has to break out wide, and you saw Stalwart weren't paying attention to this angle. Maybe not enough, but there he is on the swivel. Nerzed handles business. 2 teams now remain. A lot of damage done to Stalwart, though, and can 628 capitalize? A high ground position for Stalwart still being enacted by Icy. Can the off angle come in and come through clutch for the roster? A first pick for 33 Zid. And it is going to be 6-2-8 to take first blood on this angle. Icy has back up on the high ground.
Stalwart's had control for so long here, Joe. Doesn't make sense that they would let things slip a little bit. Finally, gets a nice tag over to 33Z. Nerzed, though, on the off angle, able to pick something up. Sunan spots him out. Icy immediately to the rescue, to the aid of things. But the shots are so clean right now from 628.
2 players down on either side. Icy repositions, trying to move through with the buggy. Sunan has to reload, and there's no answering volley. There will be a flush coming through, however, and now it's only Sunan for 628. Stalwart, in the meantime, have taken out his entire team. 2 players are there, 2 players are ready for Stalwart to play in the center of the circle. Icy and Action to try and keep it together.
Pushing over towards the top side, they've got eyes on, they know the location. Nade goes down, but Icy's getting closer. 3 nades in hand, Molotovs abound. Information passed back across. Even more util used over towards this spot from the top side. Lovely nade! We'll take down Sunan, but Stalwart's had to fight for this one.
33Z is still in it, don't count him out. Icy with the challenge, and it's good. Stalwart take map number 2. Erangel goes the way of Mongolia.
And a win that they needed. They need to bring things back, bring things up to speed, because honestly for Stalwart, PMGC has not been kind to them. Let's be honest. But finally, they're getting that confidence. They're getting where they need to be in these matches. They look much better, and I think with the position they held in that map, it was one that I talked about.
Or 12 teams and only 45 players remaining, Johnny. I'm not really sure how will the mid-game pack actually stack up, because now all of a sudden you have that vacancy. Majority of the zone is so much out in the open, but the finish feed breaks out. Seems like there's been an important knock being found. Akshat has been brought down.
Yeah, it's been knocked out, but still I think it will be difficult for NON to secure that elimination point, because Akshat, we saw him behind the cover, and there's a little bit of distance between NON and Team Soul. Soul, they have lost 1 player, I believe, in the early stages. No, they haven't. They actually did get 1 pick from GWOB in the early stages. And NON still just focused in. Monk, he's not even moving his crosshairs. He's just waiting for Akshat to step out in the open. But Clown, oh my god, this can be brutal as well. Clown, here's the commotion, here's the footstep from the players of Team Soul on the other side of that wall, and realizes there's more players in these shacks.
Absolutely, I mean, Goblin and Neo Will they have information? That is the question, of course. But look at this, the little cover that they have right behind a tree, that is not going to be enough, but the smokes have been laid to kind of assist that as well. Team Soul will try and retrieve their fallen comrade, but once again, ladies and gentlemen, an instant replay of what we just witnessed. Hyper Legends. I kind of felt, especially when the spray was whiffed, especially by Insidious, I felt like Hyper Legends will be able to hit back, but the instant nade from Crypto was sort of enough to shut them down.
I had the same thoughts running through my head, to be honest, but Crypto, I mean, the timing was just perfect, because even Siu thought that it would be a safe revive. That is why he was just sitting at the corner of that building. Had he moved towards the left a little bit more, maybe they could have just protected themselves, but talk about protection, and Team Soul, they have protected Akshat from being finished off. They've recovered, the four-man lineup is together again, and now they can safely look to cross over towards that eastern island.
The only problem is, I think, Clown just still staying onto the southwest island. I think Team Soul have no information about his presence.
But he's not doing anything, I mean,
if he does move and find the timing on Soul, then maybe there is a potential opportunity that few of the players will get taken down.
Oh, but look at this. UP50 out in the open, Godlike in the backlines, and Gen XFM as well. And Gen XFM, with how Team Godlike are moving around, I believe have given no information to the opposition, but now they finally start pulling the trigger, as Z-God has taken a lot of damage upon himself. But UP50, this will be a very important decision that they make. Which team do we push upon if we eventually do? But it seems like a call has been made, and that call is to just completely back off, avoid any confrontation at all.
But where are they going to go? Because right down south, they also have two teams. They had WSB, they also had Revenant, and look at this, Sarkar and KSR on their merry way. They were being fired upon by WSB and R&T together, but it seems like they found their exit. But UP50, the plans you mentioned, right, it seems like now they've got to make a big call. On the northern side, you've got two teams. On the southern side, you've got two teams. How do you try and leapfrog your way out of this situation?
It will be very difficult. I mean, you don't normally avoid fights on Sanhok. Yeah, it is very difficult to make that getaway, make that escape. And UP50 as well, we saw them split up. We saw them take that 2-1-1 formation, and yet 3 players have already made it through. KSR, I just see him fall back. I think he is there to pick up Sarkar, and maybe then he will rotate. But ladies and gentlemen, you guys are seeing the highlights, a recap of those early fights. This one was extremely entertaining. Blood Rose taking on one team in the early stages, which was Titan, and then 10 third-partying the entire fight, picking off the players of Blood Rose and securing just a few extra points for this game. Love this Aston Martin.
Absolutely right. That is signature Godlike. You'll watch that car.
Signature Johnny Aston Martin. It says Johnny on the number plate.
I mean, you're Johnny as well.
I'm Super Johnny.
You're Super Johnny. Will you? What does your Aston Martin say?
Nothing. It's invincible.
It's an Aston Martin.
It's the one from James Bond I lent it to him.
Absolutely. It's fine. We'll have this conversation later on, ladies and gentlemen. Team TWOB chiming in against UP50 now. We kind of observed how UP50 were in a very pickle situation. They had multiple teams right around them, and now a completely different entity has come up right in front, challenge their position. It is going to be the likes of TWOB. Gyro has been spotted, good knock, and now it opens the floodgates.
I don't understand what is TWOB doing. They just keep running from one place to the next, taking a few shots on the opposition, and then they do nothing. This time as well, they've attracted the wrong kind of attention. 2 players knocked out, just 1 player left on that high ground, and Adnan from the side of UP50 along with the rest of the team. This is going to be a very easy squad wipe from their side. Just a few nades behind the rock, but they're looking in the wrong direction. KSR could have been caught off guard as Gyro God, he was revived. He's going to be knocked down again, and TWOB, they're down to the last player. Look at this. What did I say? They did not secure. A single knock, and UP50 just picked off all 3 oppositions from the other side.
Absolutely. This was textbook from UP50. Just spread yourself up, develop a flank, get your frontliners to distract, and then your flank strikes, right? And once again, just beautifully played, focusing on the fundamentals. But speaking of fundamentals, I'm not really sure if TWOB have got that covered. Especially the way they are moving around. The rotation policy has definitely not given them some good results so far. But the point is, where do UP50 go from now on? They've found themselves a squad vibe, created a space a little for themselves at least. But if they do move on towards the circle, once again, they stand a chance of being pressured by multiple teams. WSB in position, Revenant is still in position, Godlike is still in position. Have a look at the map.
Well, We're going to focus on the map because the circle shift takes us back to the city of Painan. And UP50, they might have a little bit of a high ground advantage to work with, at least for the next few moments. But look at the side of, look at the city of Painan. In fact, it is still abandoned. Team 10, I believe they are still there, but I don't think so. They have enough players to actually maintain control of that city. And if the circle moves towards the center, it will be in the middle of nowhere. But a lot of these teams, a massive cluster towards that southeastern edge, will result in fights breaking out. UP50, we were talking about them for a long time. Finally, the collision against the players of WSB happens. Sarkar is going to be picked off, and it is just down to KSR, the last man surviving from the side of UP50, looking for a few extra finishes. The nade actually looks good, but the shots from the flanks dish out so much damage. KSR is going to be forced to back off, needs to be careful. It is still a 1v2 that he has to take on.
Oh my goodness.
Zapped out of existence.
Did not anticipate the nade coming, and WSB, once again, they're going to restabilize themselves back in the fight. We were talking about UP50 and said that how big of a pickle they were in, and it seems like that pickle paid off. They slipped massively in this one. Did not anticipate the push coming in from WSB, but now look at this. The same compound is being charged upon by the likes of Team Godlike. Jelly might actually find some information for himself.
Well, it's going to be very difficult to actually find an opening, but there was a third party coming in as well. Not exactly a third party, just shots taken from a distance. Had they turned into a knock, maybe Jelly could have actually called for the remaining players of Godlike and they could have gone for a push, but that's not going to be the case this time around. Team Godlike, they're desperate for points, they're desperate for qualification, and as of now they have avoided a lot of confrontation in this game. Jelly is going to take that vehicle out of commission, make sure that the players from the side of WSB don't really have any way of traversing the map with a lot of speed. Still,
I wonder if information has been passed on to Jelly that WSB is present, because they did read the finish feed, they did understand that there was an elimination happening, but I'm not really sure if Jelly has information if the team is still stationed or have they rotated away. And if WSB are withholding that information and Jelly presumes that this compound is empty, calls upon the rest of Team Godlike, this is a perfect opening for WSB as well.
Yeah, it can be, but I think Jelly does have a little bit of information to work with. I'm pretty sure they would have had the scopes pinned and aimed onto these compounds, and that is the reason that you don't really see him as well just push for that shack and take control of it. They know that there's a team down below that can take them out if they don't if they commit to it without securing the opening knock.
Initially want to take this fight, but Revenant haven't really hit back. In fact, after the loss of Sensei, MJ and Apollo, they possibly are going to fall back from this occasion. Once again, just trying to keep their numbers alive as long or as much as
in from that southeastern edge. They can shoot across the river, take down few extra players and secure a few extra points as well. And at this point in this game, along with survival, they need those finishes.
They definitely do need the finishes. They trail a lot of points currently, and it seems like the only way of retrieving them will be getting that big chicken dinner for themselves. And only then potentially pose themselves in a position where they can fight for the bonus points, ladies and gentlemen. But Painan has had a couple of uninvited neighbors. You've got Team NON who has slowly progressed up. You've got Team 10 on the other side. But it seems like NON will have to make a choice right now. Do they fight Team 10 or do they try and avoid? They make a longer rotation and cross over the island.
Well, let's see. It's not going to be easy to cross back. So NON need to be careful for sure. What are their options at this point? Not a lot, to be honest, since they are still in the circle. There's no incentive to force the fight. You have the cover. You have clean control of the city. There's no one there to challenge you. Just hold on to the position. Wait for the opposition to come. And when you see them be exposed, that is when you try to capitalize. In the meanwhile, the Revenant, it seems like have been caught off guard by the players from Invincibles, and MJ is the one on the receiving end. We have the players of OR Esports on our screens who are, well, enjoying this nice little road trip that they're on.
Absolutely, but not another team in the form of Revenant Esports. It's very surprising that MJ and Apollo chose to actually go the longer route. Just in the finish feed, we saw how MJ was knocked out. They chose to actually hug the blue zone, try and make a southern rotation, but it did not pay off. Team Invincibles guarding the shorelines and the southern lines of the circle itself. But look at this, Team OR, they have spotted the likes not just of Godlike but also of Genix FM. Now shots can be taken, but it seems like they are preparing a further plan deeper into the future. But for now, Lou, we are going to focus on WSB versus Genix FM, and the first knock is still yet to come.
Well, it is yet to come, but I think it might happen soon, because the players from the side of Genix FM were dropped low in terms of their HP. WSB just being ever so careful and committing towards the push. The wall of smoke is there to deny a lot of vision, deny the opportunity for Genix FM to take that third-person perspective and gain information with which they can put pressure on WSB. But WSB, do they realize that in the backlines, the players of OR Esports are also there? And if they've tried to force a fight against the players of Genix FM, there's a massive opportunity for the third party happening. But look at this, the circle moving right on their heads. Definitely now a lot more incentive to take this fight and force it and wipe out the players of Genix FM, who, by the way, are being pushed by A2K.
Absolutely, I love this from Genix FM, just closing in their backlines. They know that the circle shift is theirs, and this hard shift will be important for them. Just completely clear out the northern lines and then focus from all the pressure coming in from down south. Insidious, of course, will try to break that opening barrier, but no initial contact as of yet, and they don't have information. The DBS in mid-range finally sings the songs of death, and Genix FM, they'll break open.
He started with the DBS, switched to the M4, still secures the knock, and goes for the second as well. In a matter of seconds, A2K, they're down to their last man, and it is Wiki fighting for his life, and I don't think he has it in him to be able to survive two different teams at the same time, because even Team Soul have showed up for a third party. Another perfect time indeed. Genix FM, they're down to two players. Insidious, he's going for a revive, trying to bring Crypto back into the action, but Wiki, he's been given a lot of time. The nade being lobbed will do extra damage, but Genix FM, they still are standing on their feet.
They still are standing on their feet, but for how long is the question? Because look at that. Crypto certainly not healthy. Insidious as well has been brought down to 50%. And Team Soul will definitely look to not just chime in against A2K, but also Genix FM, as a matter of fact. Flashes and smokes been deployed. But this awkward topography, I think, is the only position why A2K, they have struggled to take this fight. And now Genix FM, they look to strike.
Oh, the nade behind Wiki is going to overshoot, but two players pushing it down. And in fact, make it three of them all together who are looking to push. Do in fact end up wiping the side of A2K, but now it is time to refocus. It will be a 2v4 against the players of Team Soul. Well, a 2v2, but from the backlines feels like NON are the distraction that Genix FM needed, because Team Soul, they were playing a 2-2 split, and as soon as Neo saw the players of NON, he called for backup, and Team Soul, they are looking to recover. Neo's going to be knocked down, but Goblin is right there next to him. Can Team Soul recover from this fight? Will they make it inside the final stages in one piece?
It seems like they will, because Akshat was always there. The 2-2 split worked out for Team Soul in spite of those micro errors. But now look at this, Godlike on the other side. They've made an entry from the southern side and now have injected themselves. All of their players will chime in and they will have a massive advantage in terms of real estate. Having spotted Team NON, it seems like they will stop them dead on their tracks. It's just Monk, and they know his position precisely. Multiple nades being lobbed in. Jonathan is going to finish him off in style. Godlike, they have complete control of the southern side of the circle.
Well, they have control of the southern side, but it will be a King of the Hill fight happening for that northern control. And Team Godlike, they're moving towards that position from the eastern edge. They will eventually face off against the players of Gen XFM and WSB. The teams fighting amongst themselves as of now. Gen XFM, 1 player knocked out, 2 left standing. Insidious with a DBS, trying his level best, is going to be picked off. Vishu is the last man surviving. And it doesn't take a lot from the players of WSB to wipe Gen XFM off the map. But as soon as they get ready to celebrate, Team Godlike, they show up out of nowhere. Raiden is the last man surviving as Godlike, they look to push. They have 7 on the board in terms of elimination, but they are not done. They're still hungry for more. WSB still in this match, survived by the last player, Raiden, but Godlike, they switch focus, and now it is Godlike against Team Soul.
This is the ideal condition that every fan in the country would have actually wanted to watch. 2 Titans, and there is a Goliath amongst them all. Team Soul, they've lost a player already. He's knocked out Raiden, still trying to survive, but I don't think he's going to make it inside. He potentially will, but for how long is the question. Team Godlike, they have the advantage of the zone for themselves, but Team Soul slowly and steadily.
That Molotov, it dished out damage, took down Akshat. And that changes everything. Godlike, they have the advantage. It's a 2v4. This is the end game, it's done.
Yeah, it certainly is done. Godlike, they slowly are approaching as Jonathan shoots out the first bullet. Team Godlike looking to open things up, but Team Soul, they're still holding on outside the circle. But for how long, Johnny, is the question?
I don't think it's going to be long. High ground. Oh, wait. They're out of utility. Godlike is out of utility.
They certainly are, and Team Soul, they can make advantage of this, but they're not progressing. This is high tension. Tension is certainly in the air, but Team Soul, this massive disadvantage is going to cause problems for them as they have to climb on top, and it seems like one of their players has actually closed up. Goblin has to be very wary of Aditya on that right-hand flank, Johnny.
And even Jonathan, he has a flank for his teammates as well. So the moment Goblin gets up, Jonathan's attention will be on him and Omega. But Jelly, he's going to kick things off. Jonathan, and well, Goblin was the man who tried to secure that first knock, was taken down. Jonathan in the backlines is going to be knocked out as well. And Omega is still left standing along with Neo. Aditya, he takes down Neo in the backlines, and that just leaves Omega. Will he go for a revive? Because there is no opportunity to get his teammate back in this game, and I think he has accepted his fate. It is a 1v3. Team Godlike, 10 eliminations on the board. They get these final 2. It will be a 12 finish. Chicken Dinner, 27 points from this one game. We want to do a 30 bomb. This is as close as they can. Oh, this can change things.
This certainly can change things. The leader has brought up the Prince in Lightning Shining Armor. He is trying to change things up. Zygot takes some sort of damage, but Team Soul will be pressured by the blue, and Team Godlike finally have an opportunity in hand. It seems like they are marching towards victory. They know it. Omega knows it as well. He's going to surrender himself in front of Godlike, and that is it. They take away the winner chicken dinner. But what an end game, Johnny.
Yeah, what an end game. I mean, things got very stressful over there for a second. Both the teams quite respectful for each other, backing off, and definitely, I think, could have ended a lot quicker because you had the numbers advantage. It was there. Even Team Godlike knew it is a 1v3 now. We can go for a push. I think the one thing they were afraid of was the notorious DBS.
Yeah, it certainly was. I kind of fell for Godlike, especially when you mentioned.
Warga mahal biru hijau, tangai biatu, sengam silo, tinlaya, terbang kau biatu, masih lunggi tona. Lan ngắm lâu chè thu lâu loa vang mơ nghe chè trong vắng cha thơ mà sẽ đà không chào nhau tất tan đồ na vô choang suy lâu mà sẽ tu ai xa mà ai riu berhi min lan si ya cây rong cả ring ngắm lâu chê cả tim đua nghe đi nhìn phiêu thấy gió bay lòng đi yang renga don lung lu ko chungam lo ba đi nei rung rong heng the qua lai lên đang trái la alia
Đèn thực quật lại
heng the qua lên đang trái la alia khi con lung ru kinh kiềm mình lan gió mây rô khi dòng lại caraka cả lan ngang choang xí lâu thế
si ra mình nó mà là mình nó sự à phải buổi khác tổ chức cần play rồi rất cần chú cần play rồi giờ vậy tụi mình